Hello, I'm Neil Holbert, and this is Running Ribashda. We're here in Manchester at Boards and Brews, a fantastic local watering hole where you can not only toss back a couple of potions with your buddies in your off hours, but you can also quest for the Holy Grail and have some awesome rabbit on the way. Today, we're talking about win conditions and consequences because they're important. You know, super important. How do your players win? What does winning mean in Dungeons and Dragons? In a game where people are working together, what does winning even mean? Do they win when they kill the big bad? Do they I don't know, there's probably another big bad around the corner if you're a DM like me. Do they win when they save the day? The world's just going to be in danger again, right? There's just another world-ending catastrophe on the way. What if they fail? What if they don't save the world? It ends? It's the end of your game? You roll up new characters, guys? That's anticlimactic. No. I say no. So winning the game isn't the goal. The goal of Dungeons and Dragons is to create memories with your friends and to make the stories that you're going to tell for years afterwards. I guess that's how you really win the game. But for the characters to win, yeah, defeat the big bad. That's how your characters win. But maybe they don't have to defeat the big bad. Maybe they just have to stop the big bad's plans enough. Maybe they don't need to bring down the tyrannical dictator. Maybe they just need to throw enough obstacles in the tyrannical dictator's way that his goals aren't met. Maybe they don't win by killing. Maybe they win by outlasting a war of attrition. You can do that. Sure, you can do that. You know, maybe your players win by making friends with the bad guy and redeeming them. That's a good story. Ultimately, what happens in your game is going to be up to your players and how they attack the situations that you put in front of them. But remember this, there should always be consequences for their actions. If you have a bard that happens to sleep around a lot, that bard might wind up with some kids along the way. If you have a fighter who runs from town to town challenging the town champion to fisticuffs every time he gets too many ales down his gullet, could probably make some enemies along the way. If you have a thief that really, really likes to steal rings out of the local duchy's jewel box, might be some warrants out for their arrest. My point is, every time your players do a thing in the game that's notable, try and remember that. And then 2 or 3 sessions later, when they've forgotten that they did that thing they thought was minor, and you bring it back to bite them, all of a sudden, their actions have meaning in your world, and it feels real. A player's actions inside your game world should matter. And there should be a result from the things that they do. Your world should be a living, fleshed out place where some things change outside of the player's control. They go off to raid a dungeon, come back to town, and all of a sudden the bar isn't being run by Olaf, their favorite tavern owner. He had to go into the city to go get medicine for his mother. So his niece is watching the bar now. That's something the players don't have any kind of control over. And that can change. And that's something that you should do to make your world feel more fleshed out. But if that medicine is for a disease that your players released by accident when they opened the crypt to some ancient evil they were looking to defeat, all of a sudden, Olaf left because of them, but not directly because of them. That's a different kind of story. Look to find ways you can tie their actions in the consequences that they'll see out in your world that are minor or major. Because if a butterfly in Thailand flaps its wings, in New York you get rain instead of sunshine. This is called chaos theory and the butterfly effect. And it's a thing that exists on a real meta level in our world, but you can take that same theory and make consequences happen in your world. And that's going to make your game a lot more fun to exist inside of.